Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I'm coming through to you right now with the second update for the COVID-19 virus. And this is for the AWD1112 Java Android programming class. Yesterday I sent out an email to all of you and I asked you to respond, okay? And I asked you to both let me know whether or not you've read the email and understood it, and did you have any questions. Now, 3 out of the 10 of you got back to me so far, and I'm hoping the other 7 do. The other thing I wouldn't mind you doing, if you don't mind doing it, is to please give me, in that email, put in there a cell phone number where I can reach you, just in case I have to. What I'm planning on doing is when I send out the notes, so to speak, for this presentation I'm going to go through right now, I'm going to put my cell phone number in there. So you have it if you'd have to get a hold of me for whatever reason. All right. So right now, under the collaboration tab for this class, if you go out there, you're going to see there's a letter from the president. But if you go to Forum Home right now, you're going to see there, Jeff Scott, COVID-19, update number 1. This is what I sent out yesterday. And what I'm planning on putting out there later today, hopefully if I can figure out how to do it, is to add on to this file. All right, with this second one that I'm presenting right now. Now, we got an email yesterday from our Dean of Academic Affairs, Ms. Bruggeman, and I wanted to go over some of the highlights that are in there. Okay? First, she says, I know everybody's working hard to get ready. Please keep in mind that online courses must be accurate, concise, and timely. Communication is a key. It is. This includes timely feedback on assignments. Please have everything graded within a day or so. I will do my best. And I don't know if this happens, but for example, if your class has a test on the same day my morning class has a test, it may be hard for me to get everything graded, because I like to really pick through these things and look through them and make sure you're understanding what it is you're supposed to be understanding. But I'll do my best to get everything back to you as soon as possible. All right. Second, if you email me, you'll hear back as soon as I possibly can. All right. When reaching out to students, be persistent. That's what I mentioned about getting a cell phone number. When you send instructions to your students, include her in the email. I've been doing that anyway. Be sure your online schedule is easy to find on Inside Rankin. I've decided not to update the syllabus. It seems like every time I update the syllabus, by the time it's updated, it's already changed. But I'm going to take this schedule that I'm about to go over with you, and I'm going to put that out on Inside Rankin. And if that needs to change for whatever reason, all right, I will update that schedule accordingly. I'm going to always try to leave the original up there, but then have the updated one and explain what the updates are. The course schedule should contain more detail than normal. It should list all expectations in regards to what you're expecting them to do. Well, if you take a look right here, these are our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, these are our 6 objectives for this course. Number 1, develop Android apps that respond to events in Android Studio. We've been doing that since day 1, or at least since day 1 of the Android portion of the class. Number 2, use text view, edit text, button, image view, spinner, and recycler view widgets to build Android apps. You've been using text view, edit text, buttons, image views, and spinners quite a bit. We're getting into where we're using recycler view. I'll have more to say about that in just a little bit. Number 3, develop Android apps that have multiple screens and pass data between these using intents. We've done that for the last several chapters. Number 4, and this is what we're going to be getting into either late next week or the following week, and this is the material that's in Unit 5 of the online text we've been using, and that is working with themes and styles, using the XML files, dimens.xml, to be able to set common dimensions, colors.xml, strings.xml, which we have been using the strings.xml all semester. We're also going to look at the whole concept, I think it even starts in this chapter, of material design. We'll talk about that when we get to that point. Next, develop Android apps that include a database component and demonstrate OOP principles. All right. The database stuff will be towards the end of the semester, the last 3 or 4 weeks. Okay. Finally, develop Android apps that communicate with web services if we have time. And if we don't and that bothers you, please let me know. All right. So let's jump into, this is the schedule that I've come up with. We have been asked to write a schedule for the next 2 weeks. I actually went all out and did the 6.5 weeks that we have left. So remember, class starts at 12:35 p.m. Monday, March 23rd. It's a regular schedule in that we're going to be meeting at the regular time. It's an irregular schedule in that you won't be here. There's even a chance I won't be here and I may be doing this from my house. I don't know where that stands right now. All right. Next Monday, we're going to go over Unit 5, which is on styles. All right. Here's Unit 5, drawable styles and themes. So we will talk about drawables, images, and they really go into a lot of depth and breadth of coverage on images. You can read that. All right, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's some very good material in there, okay? We'll talk about styles. We'll talk about themes. And styles are when you can go in there and basically you can set up a style so that all of your buttons, as an example, have a certain font. The background color, maybe you don't like it being gray, you want them purple, etc. You can do that. If you set up a whole group of styles, you can make them into a theme. In addition, there are built-in themes that exist in Android. You've actually been using a theme. So that's what we're going to cover, at least for part of the period, on Monday. Also, and I have lectures out there already on this. Again, I should have shown this because I've done the lecture for my earlier class, but I want to show this to all of you. And that is when you go out to the YouTube channel for this class. Where are we? This is the wrong class. There we go. I've got several lectures I've already done and put out there. We're going to take a second look at balsamic mockup. If you go through this first lecture here, it's number 10. It says, in fact, it's before that. If you go up to number 12, AWD1112 Advanced Resume App Intro. That shows you how you can download Balsamic Mockup, and after you've downloaded it, you have to register it. I've talked with the people from Balsamic, and I've got it so you get all of the capabilities, but you got to register it. I give you the key, and I give you, it's rank in 2019, but I also give you the key that's in there. All right. All right. And then there's 5 videos I did doing a website with Balsamic. I'm going to ask that you do that you go through that whole thing. Once you start with this stuff, every assignment from now on, I would like, please, to be turned in via GitHub. All right? So create a repository for each assignment, create one repository and throw all assignments in there, however you want to do it. But there should be a GitHub repository that has this Balsamic thing in there that you do as a website. Then there's another Balsamic exercise where you build a mobile app using Balsamic. I want you to do that one as well. All right? Those 2 things are actually due Friday the 27th. All right? In addition, on Friday the 27th, your Unit 4 lab. That's, many of you have turned that in already. That's the stuff we did before all of this happened and before break. That is due no later than that day. All right? All right. So we will talk somewhat about Balsamic, but we will go into Unit 5, and I will also make sure, I'm just going to change this around to nothing. All right. So by Tuesday the 24th, you will have a Unit 5 lab. Really, you'll have it on Monday and Tuesday, so you'll have time to work on it in class. I will be around. I don't know how this is going to work. I can't imagine you wanting to sit there for 3 hours and 50 minutes and listening to me drone on. All right? But I will be lecturing. And for that, I plan on using, for this, a product that's called Google Hangouts. I've never used it before. Mr. Crowherring is hopefully going to give me a quick little intro to it later on today, but I believe what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to send you a URL each day, and when you click into that URL, you will basically see me, all right, and I will be broadcasting. Now, that said, I have no idea if this Google Hangouts will work with, Camtasia. If it does not, I'm still going to use this, and I'm not going to be recording the lectures every day. All right? They're coming up with a way. I haven't watched the video yet, but they're coming up with a way we are taking attendance. All right? And I don't know how that's going to work, so let's not even worry about that right now. So that's the first week, Unit 5 and balsamic. Then the second week, which is the week of the 30th, we're going to spend most of the week working on an advanced resume app that I'm building right now. All right? And with that app, we will be really using a lot of the stuff in here, such as we'll be working with themes, styles, dimensions, colors, strings, all that stuff. We will be demonstrating object-oriented principles. We're going to have classes up the wazoo. So you're going to be working on and using a lot of this stuff. We will have multiple screens. We will be using the recycler view. In fact, I think we'll be using 3 recycler views for what we'll be doing. All right? So you will have a chance to go through a lot of this stuff that's in here. All right. So that will take up the majority, all right, that'll take up the majority of the second week. I should also mention in the first week, when you come in on Monday, I'm going to have to give you your project, part 1 of your project. And in part 1, I'm going to ask that you write up, it's going to be a minimum of 1 page, a maximum of 2 pages, a Word document, where you're going to put in there what you plan on writing your final app on. I will have some guidelines in there, all right, and how you're planning on setting it up, but it's going to be very general. Then in the second week, when I give out part 2 and part 1 is due, all right, so when that week when I give you that one, part 2, that's when you'll have to wireframe it. Now, your wireframe will be a living, breathing document. So you'll give me something back, and it may change over time. And I can live with that. I really have no problem with that whatsoever. But I do want an idea of what it is you're going to be working on. All right? And again, we'll talk more about that as the time gets closer. All right. Then in the third week, the week of the 6th of April, we'll be going over Unit 6. You won't have a homework on that. That's on unit testing. All right, so we'll just go over that for one period. All right. Then on the 7th, I've got hot Units 4 to 6. Well, we're not. What that really means is 4 to 5. In fact, let's make it 5. I'm not testing you on 6. So Unit 4, which we've already gone over, the recycler view and using intents, etc., and Unit 5, which again we said is styles, themes, drawables, etc. Then from there we're going to jump right in. I'm not going over Unit 7, and that's on how to use loader asynchronous loaders. It's not that, I mean, could I go over it? Yes. How much would you get out of it? I don't know. But it's basically it's on running a lot of the stuff in the background. All right. We're also not going to go over Chapter 8, which is on broadcasts and receivers. All right. We're going to jump instead right into Chapter 9 or Unit 9. I don't know if I have that one in here. That is on data storage. So we will talk about, more than anything else, we'll give an introduction to SQLite, but more than that, we'll talk about shared preferences. And I hope to have an example of shared preferences and to have you do a program on shared preferences also for Chapter 9. All right? Okay, so you can see how this stuff is kind of lining up. 2 weeks from today, or is that 3 weeks? 1, 2, 3 weeks from today is the observance for Good Friday. If you don't want to call it that, I don't want to offend anybody based on your religious affiliation, but that's basically what it is. It's the Friday before Easter. When you come back, we will go over Chapter 9 and you'll be working on that exercise. Then we'll go into Chapter 10. Chapter 10, 9 and 10 are on data persistence. 9 is how to do it, and they show you many ways of doing it, or some ways without a database. Chapter 10 is on SQLite, so it's doing it with a database. My hope is we will do approximately 4 more apps as a class during our time together. And then I will assign 4 other ones for you to work on. And when you do your tests, your hands-on tests, those will also be just an app that you will do during that 4-hour period. All right? So notice once we finish up with Unit 10, all right, we have our, about a month from now, when we have that last hot, then we go into the rest of the time will just be project time. You'll have a whole week and a day to work on it. Plus, most of these periods, I don't know about Mr. Crowherring, who's sitting off to the side of me here, but again, I don't foresee me being able to lecture for 3.5 hours a day. It's just not going to happen. I will be available during the entire class time, all right? But as far as lecturing for 3 hours and 50 minutes, I don't think you want to do it hear it any more than I want to do it. All right, and then the last week will be the portfolios. The project presentations could be really, really interesting. I'd still like us to do those. It may not even be possible for us to do presentations, but I'll worry about that because I've got about a month and a half until we get to that point. All right, so again, these are the 6 different objectives for this course. We're already working on or doing 5 out of those 6. All right. I've given you the schedule, and I will put this out both. All right. I will put this out on both Inside Rankin, and you're going to get this in just a few minutes from me as an email. Please, as I send you out these emails, please respond that you've gotten them, that you've read through them, that you don't have any, and if you have any questions, that you're going to ask me. All right? I'd very much appreciate that. Thanks, and I'll be talking to you again soon.